Welcome to an all-new episode of the GreeneScene Podcast. I'm Shelly Brown, your host, and I have with me as a co-host today, TR Mahle, our outdoor editor for the GreeneScene magazine. TR is always entertaining. We also have, I think, a subject that'll be really close to the heart of many of us around Greene County. We're going to talk today a little bit about the National Wild Turkey Federation, and we have a very special guest who's able to do that. But before, I wanted to ask you, TR, we were just talking before we went on air about this. We're just hopefully over now by the time this airs, this stretch of really cold weather, not usual, you know, and I don't know how you fared. I took a couple of falls, but I survived. How'd you live through this sub-zero 12-inch snow stuff?
I never took any falls, but I did spend a lot of time outside in it, shoveling, doing all that kind of stuff. We live up on top of a hill, so, you know, when everybody else got 10 inches, we got 15, and then we drifted, and we had 3 and 4 foot drifts. And
see, I wasn't that far off.
That was tough on everybody. So.
Yeah, it sure was. I imagine it might be tough on turkeys, too.
Actually, it would. And Guy here, who is an expert on turkeys, how do the turkey handle that kind of a situation?
Before you answer that, Guy, I want our audience to know who we're talking to, and I forgot to mention that earlier. Welcome to this GreeneScene Podcast, Guy Hostutler, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your affiliation with the National Wild Turkey Federation.
Well, my name. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to see you too.
Have this conversation. To get away from some of this nasty weather that we have had, it's good to sit down and have a chat every now and then with individuals other than yourself. So a little bit about myself. As you said, my name's Guy Hostutler. I'm from Greene County, originally from 100, West Virginia. And one of my biggest passions has always been hunting and the outdoors. I've worked in the gas industry most of my life and have been an environmental specialist here, there, and everywhere that I've worked for the last 20, 25 years. So applying that to the wild turkey has also helped me gain more understanding on, to answer your question, what will turkeys do in weather like this and what's a good thing for them. Well, one of the things that we've noticed, you know, if you get more than 5-6 inches of snow, it's hard for the turkeys to scratch to get the food. And a lot of us plant food plots, and we go out and we try to build habitat for these turkeys, but it's hard for them to get to it in these deep snows. So myself, I go out and I plow off my food plots. I'll literally go plow off an area to give the turkeys an opportunity to get in there and scratch. And it also lets them get just a little bit higher to grab some of that browse that the deer aren't grabbing. So it'll help sustain their life.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. So what do you feed? What do you plant on a food plot for turkeys?
A lot of people plant corn. A lot of people plant chufa, rape. It's all different types of grasses and things that will have a seed pod, to where that will give them the food source that they need this time of year going into the spring.
And a turkey plot is different than a deer plot.
Yes, but you can intermingle them. I mean, you can literally plant a couple different types of grasses that will benefit both, which is the goal for everything, is to try to create habitat that will also help sustain the deer, the rabbits, the turkeys, everything that we have in our area.
Wonderful. National Wild Turkey Federation, they are a national organization, and you have a Greene County chapter. Tell me a little bit about how the National Wild Turkey Federation got started, and then perhaps how Greene County got its own chapter.
Well, you're going to make me tell my age here a little bit, TR.
That's okay.
But it's all right. Back in 1986, there was a charter that was signed with the National Wild Turkey Federation for a chapter to be formed in Greene County. We had our first banquet in 1994. Now, as of right now, there are 2 active members who were the existing founders of the chapter. And what I mean by active is we participate in every event, or almost every event. We're volunteers or officers in the Warrior Trail Gobblers, and that would be myself and Jim Garber.
Jim Garber actually is a friend of mine, so I know both of you.
Yeah, so Jim was there when the chapter was formed in 1994. And throughout those years, up until this year, each one of us has held probably every position that you could hold as an officer. But when we started the chapter, it was more to get the insight into what we could do at that time based off the habitat that we were trying to create.
In 94, there wasn't much of a turkey population, was there?
No, there was not. And they were doing the trap and transfer, and they had tried to do some farm-raised birds and then turn them loose, and that didn't work out.
That didn't work out well.
So then they started doing the trap and transfer. So as those flocks began to build on their own, we noticed that there needed to be new types of habitat. And contrary to what a lot of people believe, the National Wild Turkey Federation, we're not a hunting group. We're a conservation group. And our biggest aspect about this is building habitat for the wild turkey. So we got together and we knew that the NWTF was looking for new chapters. So we reached out, and I'm not sure who the individual was. It wasn't me who originally reached out to the NWTF, and there was a meeting held at the high school in the gymnasium, and there was like 300-400 people showed up, and everyone was tickled to death that we were going to get this opportunity for a chapter. And it gave us an opportunity to bounce our questions off of those so-called experts at that time to try to figure out what we could do. And throughout those years, it has completely evolved to an organization nationally that, they spend hundreds of millions of dollars on habitat creation, and they have sat down with legislators and created new programs that will help assist other areas of the country. And they're all based off of geographics. Like our area is the R3 program. And in the R3 program, it gives us the ability to recoup, regenerate, or revisit memberships to get more people involved in the Northeast.
Your chapter is one of the biggest in the country, right?
In the state, yes. In the country, we're probably in the top 10%. But Pennsylvania, on the other hand, is ranked number 5 in the nation in fundraising. And last year, they raised a little over $1.2 million.
That's awesome.
Which put them number 5 in the nation. So Pennsylvania takes it very seriously. They do take their outdoors industry very seriously, and we work real close with other organizations and other companies and corporations to facilitate getting that funding to try to do these habitat programs or get funding for what we like to do is we want to pass it on to our youth. And the youth, to us, are Jakes, juniors acquiring knowledge through ethics and sportsmanship. Yeah. We do it through that program there, which we do have one of the largest youth events in the United States.
Yeah. Now, I have 2 young kids, so we were part of the Jakes process all as they were growing up. And, maybe if somebody doesn't know what a Jake is a 1-year-old bird.
Yeah, it's a youth bird. It hasn't made it through its second year to where it starts growing a longer beard and has the ability. Right. It's like a kid, doesn't have the ability to gobble real well yet, but
it's a very fitting name. Yes, calling them Jakes.
Yeah, it's a juvenile bird. Now Jakes is the name for the male. Jennies are names for the females.
Okay.
Well, I got to throw this in here. So this is exciting, and I knew what a Jake was, but I didn't even know there was a Jenny. So I'm really glad to know that. Certainly a lot of outdoors sports women out there that need that to grow into that. What are some of the programs? We're going to talk about others, I know, but what are you doing for these young people?
So what we try to do for the youth, and this all started about 13, 14 years ago. We had went on a hunt. I got offered to go on to a hunt to participate on a youth hunt in Kentucky, and saw what that local chapter was doing there. Brought that idea back to Greene County. And it took us about 4 or 5 years, but we were able to facilitate getting 4 or 5, actually there was 5 corporations or organizations who came together, made a sizable donation to the Warrior Trail Gobblers to where we could now start putting on this youth event. And at this youth event, we talk about sportsmanship. We go through good hunting strategies. We go through trapping. They get to fish. They get to hear how to use turkey calls. Like we do seminars, and we've actually had some top-ranked callers in the nation who have qualified to call at nationals or have even placed in the top 10 at nationals who have came and also participated in this event. It is an opportunity for these kids in our area, just Greene County, to now form a network of friends all over the United States. We've literally had kids at this event from California, from Louisiana,
Wow.
North Carolina, West Virginia, Texas, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, all over the United States. If their parents are working here, it's something for them to do. And we open it up for anyone. The great thing about this, it does not cost them one dime to attend this event. And TR can attest to this. We literally have multiple companies and organizations who will donate money to purchase prizes for the kids. And it's 100% free. And to date, don't want to jinx myself or the chapter, but we've been doing it now for 13 years, 12 years in Hunting Hills, and we've never had one kid complain, get mad, get upset. You don't see cell phones out unless they're taking pictures or exchanging contact information. The rest of the time, these kids are enjoying each other's company. And it's unique because you'll see a child win a weapon or win a prize that's never won, and the whole group starts cheering.
That's
and
great.
TR can attest to that.
So how many do you get? Like
last year we had the largest youth event we've ever had 192 kids, along with their parents and guardians and grandparents, aunts and uncles, close to 600 people.
Wow.
And it was absolutely amazing because Pennsylvania has a youth turkey hunting day. It comes in before the regular season does. And that is the same day that Jake's event takes place, right?
Correct.
And there was 40-some birds bought in that day?
39.
39? 39.
We haven't broke the 40 number yet. 39 is the best we've ever done.
39 kids bought in gobblers that morning. All lined up, all pictures. Even if you didn't get a bird, you got in the picture. Yeah. But the heaviest bird, they get prizes. I mean, it was a truly a very good experience.
I'll bet.
And they enjoyed it immensely. They had good food. Like you said, they could fish. They could do a turkey shoot, shoot it to a pie pan. Most BBs wins a gun. They had bow and arrow shooting. You could shoot clay pigeons if you wanted to. It was just a very, very good day.
It sounds like it. It sounds like a wonderful sporting event, but it also sounds like a wonderful teaching event. And,
it is.
and like
I
you
think
say,
that's the main thing you want to do is teach.
Respect, learning safety, learning
Yes.
Having a conscience about what you're doing,
Yes.
and getting along with other people. I just like it. It sounds really incredible.
One of the things, and since you touched on the teaching aspect, it's for us. I mean, we have an individual, and we usually change them up about every 2 or 3 years, that will teach trapping. And there's a lot of people who don't like trapping, but there is an ethical way of trapping, and it shows you how to set your traps. This individual will go through and explain the process and show them how, if you don't want to take that animal and you want to release it, how can you safely release it without causing it any damage? So
Getting bit.
Or getting bit, yeah, correct. So they go through that. When it comes to the fishing side, I have never got to experience the fishing derby because I'm always doing the seminars and I usually run the event. So I'm on the microphone all day. But to hear the stories that people tell about the fishing down at the ponds is amazing, because you'll have kids down there from the ages of 8 to 17. And there's no pushing, shoving, or trying to get in there. If a kid hooks a fish and he's too little to reel it in, one of the bigger kids steps in and helps. So it also becomes a mentor program as well.
Right.
Then when you start talking about turkey calls, Well, now we're teaching this craft. There are certain sounds that turkeys make at certain times, and you want to make sure that you do the best you can to mimic or imitate that sound. And so we sat down and we teach the kids how to do it. One year we let them build their own turkey calls, and then we have archery. And then in the archery event, the kids have an opportunity to shoot at a 3D target and to see if they really want to archery hunt. But there's an art form to that. There's things that are being taught there. And it's just the camaraderie that you see in the sportsmanship that comes out of these kids. And in the world that we're in today, with all what seems to be so much hate being spewed, it's nice to be able to go to an event like this and watch these kids enjoy each other's company and cheer someone on that they've never met in their entire life. But yet this kid caught the tagged fish or shot the largest bird or hit the bullseye with their bow, or they were the ones who busted the most clays when they were shooting the clay stand. So it makes a world of difference. And that's why we continue and will continue to try to have this event every year that we can. As long as I'm around, I'm always going to be part of it, because to me, it's near and dear to my heart, because we're able to share our love of the outdoors, not killing, not hunting, but our love of the outdoors. We've had individuals come there who have never shot a gun, who never went on what you would call a decent hike. And before the event's over, they fired a gun because we took the time to teach them, to show them that it's not dangerous and how to make it safe. Also, to how to enjoy the outdoors. I'm sure TR's been on turkey hunts where he's called in a nice longbeard and sat there and watched it come in full strut, could have shot it 100 times and never pulled a trigger.
Just for the fun of
That
seeing it.
has absolutely happened many
Because
times.
you get engulfed in watching that bird. For me, I like to watch other birds. Like a scarlet tanager is my favorite little bird, and a sparrow. So I get engulfed in watching those, and I forget about the turkeys. But it happens. And of course, we all start looking for mushrooms because it's morel season.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. coming on.
So you got to get your mushrooms.
I love watching turkeys.
The thing is, I guess what I'm getting at is the fact that we're not only teaching them how to ethically harvest an animal, but we're also showing them how to respect it.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the motto of the Warrior Trail Gobblers is God, family, country, and then the wild turkey. So there's 3 stages long before we ever get to go after a wild bird or after the wild turkey or even after a deer. We want to give all credit to our Creator, and then we pull our family into that as well.
Yes, sir.
And between our family and our friends, that's where we're at. And then, of course, we couldn't do it if we didn't live in this great country that we live in right now. So, one of the other things that we've started doing last year in honor of Steve Hicksonball, who used to be our gun dealer,
I knew Steve.
we had our very first veterans hunt. Well, unfortunately, as you know, we lost Steve this year. And this year it's going to be in honor and memory of Steve. This will be our second veterans hunt. So, we're putting that out for any veteran who would like to participate in this hunt. You're more than welcome to come down to Hunting Hills and participate. We'll be touching on it more at our banquet in March. Our banquet's March 21st. We'll touch more on the veterans hunt there because we want to give our veterans an opportunity to experience this camaraderie as well. And last year was great. It rained on us, but we had a blast. I mean, we were down at one of the ponds, and we're having it at the ponds again this year. And since it was our first one, we really didn't know what to expect. But now that we have an idea, that's where we're going this year. We're going to try to make it bigger as well.
I think you will. And there is definitely a need there.
Yes.
That connection, and they need that, right?
Yes,
They do.
absolutely.
We're going to take a break right now just to share a little information with you about our sponsor for this episode of the GreeneScene Podcast. If your personal or business finances are starting to feel like a second full-time job, it's time to call Wilson Accounting Group in Waynesburg. From tax preparation and planning to payroll and QuickBooks support, Mike Wilson and his team bring nearly 20 years of local expertise to your kitchen table or your office desk. Located at 69 South Washington Street, they're here to handle the numbers so that you can spend time on things you actually enjoy. Visit them online at wilsoncpaco.com or stop by their office in Waynesburg today. Wilson Accounting Group, local service, expert solutions. I got a question. I don't mean to.
Jump right in there.
I am so impressed with everything that you've talked about. And I actually enjoy watching turkeys. And I live in the country and I love outdoors. And they're one of my favorite birds. I like to watch a lot of birds, but those are my favorites. I just like the way they walk. And I love my favorite time of year is when the poults are out there and they're following them along. What I'm wondering though is what any landowner could do, even if we started out talking a little bit about making the environment appropriate for them and advocating for their feed plots and things like that. Yeah, habitat. That's the right word. So I'm curious, how do we do that? I mean, that's part of why you talked about it being an environmental concern. And I've noticed turkey population. I remember probably 20 years ago, 25, when it was higher than, and there was lots of them maybe, and then it seemed like it waned down. But I used to see 40, 50 birds in a flock just walking across my pasture or more, right near my house. And that today, I don't see that. I see maybe 10 or 12. And I'm not really sure whether it's coyotes maybe or what. I'm not sure. But why is it down? Is that just me or?
Yeah, no, the numbers have went down, but they are starting. We're seeing them on the increase now. Yeah. But a lot of it was your coyotes, your nest raiders, your coons, your skunks, and your possums who were raiding the nest and eating the eggs. So it was very difficult for them to reproduce well enough. The weather plays a key role in it too. If you have a real wet spring, the hens are going to leave the nest. They're not going to stay there. And those eggs are going to rot and they're going to start over. And then they'll try it a couple of times, but then after that, they're going to quit. So you almost need a decent spring with decent weather. You don't want it super dry, but you don't want it super wet either. The other thing is you ask about habitat.
Yeah.
So one of the things that can happen is you can reach out to one of us at the chapter. We can try and get you in contact with our state biologist we just got a new one, and I apologize, I don't know the name off the top of my head, but we can get them in touch with you. They'll give you an idea of what type of plantings that you could do. Just as a layman farmer, for me, what I try to do is leave some areas uncut. I try to leave some grasses tall, either in the middle of my field, edges of the field, along the brush, throw in some extra seed here and there to where you leave some good vegetation there for them to feed off of in the spring, in the summer, because you know, throughout the summer, we're getting after the crickets and the grasshoppers and all that. So once again, we're creating habitat, but it's not just for the turkey. It's for the whole,
all of them,
biostructure here. You're looking at building a habitat that's going to house a lot of different animals, or for lack of better terms, critters.
God's creatures, yeah.
So that way, everything sustains itself or helps sustain the other. Yeah. And that's what we got to look towards. If it's a farmer who has cattle, the turkey's going in, scattering the manure. That helps him. That helps the turkeys. So there are a lot of different things that can be done. But as just a layman farmer, for me, I try to leave areas untouched to allow that as cover as well as a food source later on.
Right. Makes sense.
Well, me and Guy, we've been friends a long time, and I don't know of anybody that's more passionate about what you want to do than Guy. And he's done so much for this program. And you do have 3 events coming up. Yes. You have your...
we have our hunting heritage banquet.
Your banquet will be the first thing. That is on
March 21st.
March 21st.
Yes, sir.
That'll be held at the Greene County Fairground.
Yes, sir.
Are there still tickets available for that?
Yes, sir. Yes, there is.
Okay. Secondly, you have your annual Jake's event, which will be April 25th.
Jake's
that
and
is
Jenny's.
at Hunting Hills. Right.
Jakes and Jennies.
Jakes and Jennies. No Jennies. I never saw a Jenny body him, but
We had one last year.
Did you really?
Yeah, had a young, I think it was a young man shot a bearded hen. Yes.
okay.
And they are legal. So,
Well,
but
he
yeah,
thought it was a gobbler, I guess.
But yeah, our event is April the 25th at Hunting Hills, and it is the youth day, so everyone's out hunting that morning. So we usually kick it off between 12 and 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we have a little ritual that we do every year at every event we do. First thing we do is we honor our veterans, and
Yes.
then we give grace to our Creator.
Yes.
And then we eat.
Oh, boy.
And
Very well.
then
Very well, I
then
might
we
add.
start the festivities. Yeah. But no, so yeah, April 25th is the Jakes hunt. And then the following weekend, which is May the 2nd, will be our veterans hunt.
Right.
And it'll be the same process as we do with the Jakes is, we'll hunt that morning, have everybody meet down there between 12 and 1 o'clock. Then we'll honor those veterans who are there. Then we'll go through and we'll honor our Creator. And then we'll eat. Then we're going to fish and just enjoy each other's company.
And those events are open to anybody, right?
Yes, sir.
What the Jake has to be, or the Jake hunter has to be under
17.
12? 17? Okay.
Yep.
Under 17. And anybody can come. And if they want to donate, how would somebody help donate to these things?
Support
they,
it. Yeah.
They could reach out to myself or one of the other committee members. We're all the time looking for donations because, like I said, we reach out to so many different youth, and we have so many other events and other things that we do. Like we partnered up with another chapter as well, 2 other chapters really. We have one in Bridgeville, Steel City Spurs, and we donate to their Jakes for their banquet. In return, they come and help work our Jakes event. You wouldn't think that, it would be need that many people, but it takes about 30 volunteers to do the Jakes event alone.
Yeah.
And then we also partnered up with the Lewis Wetzel chapter out of New Martinsville, West Virginia. And we go help with their Jakes event, and they come and help with ours. Plus, we support each other's chapters by going to each other's events. But if you want to get involved and become a sponsor or a donor, please reach out to myself or one of the committee members. Or if you just want to make a donation, same principle applies. Just reach out to one of us. We're all the time looking for help, all the time looking for more money, because the more that you give us, the more we put back into the program.
Wonderful. And I am also doing an article for the GreeneScene newspaper this month on the National Wild Turkey Federation and the Warrior Trail Gobbler chapter. There'll be several nice pictures in there too, so if you get a chance, take a look at that.
Before we leave, though, today, Guy, we like to have a little bit of fun and ask our guests questions that we think our listeners might ponder as well. And I'm going to ask you today, and it might be off topic, I don't know, but we'll see. We call it the $100 challenge. If you had $100 to give away, what would you do with it to support the community in this area?
I would more than likely donate it right to the Warrior Trail Gobblers.
Yeah, no, I think I saw that coming.
I think so.
And because it would do some good, huh?
You're right, 100%.
That's a perfect answer.
I mean, that's all I do with it.
Yeah.
Because there's different levels that you can reach as sponsors or donors. I'm at the Gilded right now, which that means that we, meaning my wife and I, have donated in our lifetime over $50,000.
Wow.
To the
Wow,
NWTF.
that's fantastic.
And then, of course, we have a lot of members now and sponsors and donors who are at the Diamond Life, which is $10,000 or more. We have some at Silver, which are $2,500 or more. And like you have Hunting Hills and Iron Synergy are at Heritage because they've donated over $20,000.
My.
And
That's
now
wonderful.
that's not just money, that's also use of facilities. And because
Prizes
when we partnered up with Iron Synergy, they let us use their ground for our youth hunt. So when kids come out of town,
That's a great idea.
we have local individuals who will guide those kids on those
Yeah,
properties.
that is.
Now, do you
And
trade
take us-
hunts with other chapters?
Yeah. Well, not other chapters, but individuals. We worked out a program to where individuals would like to come and maybe harvest. Maybe they're doing that 48 state bird hunt, and
I believe there's 4 4 subspecies, 5 of the.
Yeah. So, and Eastern's what we have, but a lot of people want to get one in every state that has turkeys. So we did trade. The most recent one was we traded a hunt with a gentleman in Tennessee, and his aunt owns an island, and there's birds on this island. It's 300 and some acre island. So we traded a hunt with him. Well, he wanted to do PA and West Virginia. So I found him ground in West Virginia. So that gave us 2 youth hunts.
Were they successful?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, they both shot beautiful longbeards in Tennessee, and we've done that. We've went to the national convention, and we'll buy a whitetail hunt. Like we sent 2 kids out west year before last to Kansas, who shot 160-inch whitetails.
Oh my goodness.
And it's, like I said, it was all free. The kids, all they had to do was play a game the night of the banquet, and they got chances on that hunt, and we drew a winner.
Wow.
Drew 2. And they went as a group, which now there's that networking again. You're allowing these individuals to form their own little group. So it gives them an opportunity. And because a lot of people don't realize this, that it doesn't go without being noticed. At the most recent state rendezvous held in January, that's our award ceremony for the state. Chapter walked away with 4 of the top awards, and we also walked away with 5 of the top individual awards. And a couple of them that were very significant for us, or meant a lot to us, one was the corporate sponsor, which that was Hunting Hills. Hunting Hills has been our Jake sponsor for the facility for 12 years running. And I know as long as Raz is around, it's going to continue to happen there as well. The other one was Raz once again. He won the Conservationists of the Year award. And
that's Raz Sisler, right?
Raz Sisler, yes. And that right there puts it even into more perspective because, there was a lot of people who were put in for those corporate awards or the conservation awards or even the individual awards that some of us were lucky enough to win. But when you look at the fact that out of maybe 30 or 40 people, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Absolutely.
And then the other one that really meant a lot to me was the Nancy Kraft Award. This is for the Outstanding Woman of the Year in Pennsylvania. Now, my wife won it about 13, 14 years ago. She won it. Well, this year, Pansy McConnell wins it. And Pansy has donated, this is what's unique, over $30,000 to our youth program, which benefits males and females. But she wins the Women of the Year, the Nancy Kraft Award, because she does all this in memory of her son, Ben, who was killed in a tragic ATV accident 10 or 15 years ago.
Wow.
And in that time frame, she has literally donated $30,000 in money or prizes to the Warrior Trail Gobblers. And the thing is, people don't realize it doesn't go without being noticed. It does get noticed. In 2023, I won the Jake's Volunteer of the Year nationally. I've also won the Roger Latham Award, which is a person who goes above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to representing the NWTF and promoting the legislation or going and doing the podcast or helping with other chapters and doing things like that. So it doesn't go without being noticed. We also had a new inductee into the Turkey Callers Hall of Fame this year, and Jimmy Gillen. Jimmy's been a member for about 15 years now, the Warrior Trail Gobblers, and Jimmy got inducted in to the Hall of Fame this year. Jim and Crystal Garber won the Volunteer of the Year this year. So
sounds like we have some giants in the turkey industry.
The thing is,
does.
I think what we're doing is really starting to resonate with a lot of other people. There was a chapter who won inaugural Jake's event at the rendezvous, and when their RD got up to accept the award, he called myself out and the Warrior Trail Gobblers specifically because they took the pattern of the program that we're doing, carbon copied it, and now we're doing it there. We also
That's
know
wonderful.
that in other states, there are other chapters in other states who are now utilizing this same program with great success. And they're seeing their events go from 10, 15, 30 kids to 100 to 150.
Wonderful.
And some people ask me, well, aren't you afraid someone will have a bigger event? I said, no. No, because
That's
for
our
me,
goal.
I like the competition. I like that challenge. But for me, I want to see those kids in the outdoors.
No matter where they live.
That's exactly right. It does not matter to me. So, when we go through all this, there's still a lot of things going on. And, just like with our sponsors and donors, we try to give everyone the opportunity to be recognized if you want to be at any of our events. If you want to donate a firearm to be given to a kid, or if you want to buy a backpack or a turkey vest and you want your name put on it, we'll get your name put on it. We'll do that for you. If you want that PR, that's up to you. I mean, it's your item. We're just facilitating being the giver for you. You're the one who's giving it to us. And if you just want to make an anonymous donation to the chapter, then we'll take that as well. But understand this, we don't hold on to a lot of it. What money we make, we spend it right back into our youth program, now into our veterans program.
And that's certainly evidenced by what you've just told us, how your program has inspired others in other chapters in other states, and the growth of your success. It's great. It's really been we could go on here for hours.
Yeah,
I know.
Bob would keep talking, but I think we do need to wrap it up.
We probably do. But Guy, I really, really appreciate your being here, and I'm impressed. I always thought that it was a good organization, but I did not understand the far-reaching of it. And I think a lot of people maybe weren't aware, as you began saying, it's not a hunting club, it's a conservation club. And it's a learning experience. It's a youth, growth. It's just wonderful. What you've talked about today, I hope everybody picked up on that, because
Yes.
Greene County, the Warrior Trail Gobblers have made an impression on people and beyond our area even. So I thank you for coming today.
It's been a pleasure being here. I've enjoyed it.
I have too.
Me too, always.
So again, I hope that everybody in our listenership out there has enjoyed this. I am sure you have. And if you want to know more, you'll always find a description. In the description of the podcast, you'll find contact information. You can get a hold of Guy that way. And in a recent issue of the GreeneScene, you will find a story, again, about the Warrior Trail Gobblers. And there will be information, right, TR?
Yes, I'll have information at the end of that article where you can donate or who you can get in contact with.
All right. So again, thank you, Guy. Thank you, TR.
Thank you.
And thank you to those who are listening. Be sure to tune in to the next GreeneScene Podcast.